which is specific requirements, your budget, and guarantors. Most of the time here in New York, you will have basic requirements. They will require you to have 40 times the rent income annually. And then supporting documents proving that that is your income. So they will require you to show, usually is your last tax returns, W-2s, maybe letter of employment if you're just getting a new job, but basically things that show that you do make what you say you make.
As well as credit in good standing.
Yes.
That is a huge thing.
Yeah, credit here is big.
With that being said, typically the standard is 40 times the rent.
Yes.
It's clear that not everybody can afford that, so there are options. You can use what's called a guarantor. It's essentially like almost like a cosign. You're essentially having somebody else sign their name on the lease, acting as guarantor to guarantee that the lease will get paid in a timely manner. So you can use a personal guarantor. However, the requirements change a little bit. So a personal guarantor, like a family member or a friend or whatever, they need to have. It can be
your business too.
It could be your business as well.
As a personal guarantor.
It could, yes. They have to make and prove that they make 80 times the rent.
Yes.
And again, they have to have credit in good standing as well and have all the documentation that goes along with it.
Yeah, which is basically the same documentation that you're going to provide. So like I said, tax returns, either pay stubs or some sort of CPA letter if it's a business stating that that's how much they make, etc.
Yep, 100%. There are also, in situations where you don't have a personal guarantor, you can use a guarantor company. There are a few guarantor companies here in New York City that are the popular ones.
Very reputable.
Yes, there's Insurant, the Guarantors, Rhino, and a couple of other ones that are very popular. They're all great. They'll pretty much, they all have different payment structures, but they typically will charge you around 1 month's rent for their service acting as guarantor. With that being said, it brings us to another part of this tip, your budget, right? So let's say you want to bypass guarantors altogether. Let's say you have an income of $80,000 a year. You know that if you divide that by 40, that's $2,000. So that is the maximum budget that you have for an apartment here in New York City. $2,000 isn't going to get you very far in New York City.
Yeah.
So that's a good way of gauging how much you can afford here.
Yeah, and also take into consideration that if you are moving in with roommates or if it's a two-income household, those compound. So if, say, it's 3 of you moving in together, the income requirement would be for the 3 of you. But that also goes for everything. So like credit-wise, if one of you don't apply in terms of credit, then that person wouldn't be able to be part of the lease because then you just wouldn't qualify. So you have to take all of that into consideration when it comes to requirements.
Yes, but there are options.